Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to PCM23 Lions. It's episode 123. It's also going to be the final episode of La Vuelta as we watch on as a couple other riders make their way towards the finish line. And you can see just how big the time differences can be on the finishing climb of this individual time trial. It's a very lengthy one, 35 kilometers. Totally flat, or mostly flat, for 33. But the last 2K is no joke. It's a pretty serious climb, pretty steep climb. If you're done in, it's bad news. It's an average of roughly 14%, maxing out at 23 to be exact. It's 1.9K. So far, I've had 4 riders compete, and more than half the field has now crossed the finish line. And my 4 guys, all 4 of them are in the top 20 until literally just now as that rider cross line bumping De Villiers, who is quite poor. We have managed to put in really solid performances so far. I'm still tweaking the balance of what's right, because 33 kilometers flat, you need to put in a good time trial. You can't conserve too much for the climb. But if you don't conserve enough for the climb, you're done. You're toast. You lose a ton of time. A lot of time can be gained or lost in that last 2 kilometers. So it's going to take a pretty close balance. And yes, you've got to have something left. But at 33K flat, you could lose a ton of time on that 33K flat. Really is going to be important to get this one just right. And the balance of time trial rating and mountain rating and that race day condition, that combination can totally throw off what that balance is. Hence I'm still kind of tweaking it. And Benny, De Villiers, and Benuna all pretty much went back to back, just a couple riders apart from each other. With riders like Bitziger and Barta all on the verge of getting knocked out of the top 20, it's also pretty clear that being a good time trialist does not mean you're going to win today. And being a good climber does not mean you're going to win today. Solaire's only 19th. It's definitely it's going to take a combination of both. But we are just about ready for Hanoch to set off. It's good that Hanoch, Klote, and Janssen all have, and Arab all have a little bit of a gap in between one another. They're not necessarily back to back. It gives us time to kind of see how each rider is doing and give them some focus and attention before we take off. Obviously, you got to start strong. Hanoch, much better climber than time trialist, but he does have a little bit of a race day condition bonus, which is going to give him a 69 on his time trial rating. He does have very good stamina. So you got to start strong out of the box, get up to speed. You settle in, you ride a little bit more while still getting up to speed, and then we got to back off. Now, I tried doing a 79 initially, and that was definitely too hard. A 77 seems to be the happy zone of the 33 kilometers, meaning you can ride a 77 for the entire length of 35K flat. But you need something for that final climb. A 76, well, it gives you a little bit. 75 is going to give you a little bit more, but it is going to take that good tempo. So we're going to try a 75 with Hanoch for a good chunk of this to see how much having a little bit more saved energy, a little bit more for the climb, especially with his balance, and see how that goes for us. But again, 33K, it's too long to really back off. You will lose 5 minutes to gain 1 minute on the climb, to gain 30 seconds on the climb. It's a fine line. It is a fine line today. And Hanoch, well, we'll find out soon enough if a 75 for most gives him kind of the right frequency, the right balance. I think overall the 76 gives you enough. It's only a 2K climb. Only a 2K climb. You're not going to gain much time there. But if you run out, you're going to lose a ton. So it really is close. But Klote, about to set off. He's got a good race day condition, and he's not necessarily good at either, but he's not bad at either. And with his race day condition, +3, he's a pretty decent one. Start rolling off. Okay, he's up to speed. I think we can keep him more balanced. So we'll go with the 76 approach for him. You can see how Hanoch already has a bit in reserve. Klote certainly will have. Yeah, minute and a half down for Hanoch at the first time check with a 69 time trial. That's a lot of time lost. That is a lot of time lost. most of our other riders are only losing about 30 seconds in that first sector. Second sector, I've seen a lot of the other teams seem to be, I don't know, maybe backing off. But you can see how Clote, like, doesn't even have any reserves yet. We're going to go 75 for part of it. I think I want to hover between a 75 and a 76 with him, just to add a little bit more in the tank, but to keep him moving along. We'll see Henok's second time check shortly to see just how bad it is. Is a 75 just too damn slow? What's the damage? 211, and it is. He's 2 minutes down. Like, at best, he's going to gain 30 seconds on the climb. So a 75 is a difficult way to go. As Clote crosses the first line, there's that partial 75, partial 76 territory, and he's 33rd, just 49 seconds down. Definitely looking much better as Jansen's about to set off. And we're back in that territory of Henok, of being a good climber, but a terrible time trialist. So even though he is 17th overall, he's going to be pretty slow on this one. We'll be at a 75 for him as well to set him up for that climb. You're going to lose some of this time regardless, right? It's not just that we're going too soft. It's bad time trial, bad time trial. If you don't have the ratings, you're just not going to perform. A 76, guarantee you he's only maybe a minute 40 down instead of 211. Or at least a minute 50. Like, there's time losses in there. And there's not much that you can really do with the climb to step it up, because it drains that energy pretty dang fast. So Jansen, yeah, we're keeping him on the 75. Clote, we've already got him a decent amount of reserve. He's coming up on that second time check. We'll check back in on Henok here momentarily, but Clote's about to come through the second time check. And he's the hope of these three. Just 47 seconds down and 10th place. But you can see Henok, 700 meters still to go, and he's running out. He is running out. 500 meters. 400 meters. 200 meters. We barely stepped it up to a 77, but now he comes for the line. His final push, attack, 338. He's still lost another minute and a half. So it's lose, lose, and more lose. Even trying to backload it. So Clote, let's save that a little bit more. Oh, Arab's about to set off. Here we go. Not a +3. Hell no, that is nowhere near a +3. It's a -3 draw to Arab's +3 expected. Ouch. Ouch for that one. Okay, well, he's definitely set off. We got to back off now. He is a good time trialist. We will go between that 76-75 territory. Clote, onto the climb. We can definitely handle that 77 territory. Get that little more push on there. Jansen, 75 from here on out. And Arab, I think we want to do a fair bit of 75 with him. Save a little more for the climb. Now, Henok was not actually a good climber. Right, he was still only a 72. 500 meters, Clote into that last red bar. Pushing that a little bit harder as we make our way towards the finish. There he goes. Minute 44, top 20. Minute 44, that's a top 20. Not too bad. Jansen hanging in there. So disappointed with Arab's draw. So disappointed. 244 for Jansen, second time check. He's up 8 spots from where he was, but he's still losing ground with a really, really poor time trial rating. Arab comes through the first time check, 34th overall, 44 seconds down. He is well down. Cavagna still leads in the clubhouse. Benuna is still in the top 10. We have shown that the balance does work. Benuna does not have the ratings to be in the top 10. And we've consistently, I mean, outside of Henok, everyone's in the top 35. Jansen heading towards that climb with a fair bit of energy in reserve. Arab is definitely saving up a bit of energy. Let's go ahead and speed him back up for a little bit. That time trial really is where the bulk of the time is. You just can't run out. Got to have something for the push. Okay, Jansen, onto the climb. This is that steep part that just drains you so fast. Checking back in with the main guy, it's Arab. He's still got a little bit till we get to the second time check, so we'll continue to stay with Jansen a little bit longer, backing off to a 77. as he's going to run out of yellow bar a little early. He still had 750 meters to go. He's getting caught by the world champion Danny Martinez, and Jansen's going to run out of energy before the top. He's going to lose a little time, but it's only in the last 200 meters, so small amount of time loss. But Martinez went third, 3 seconds down. Now we're with Arab till the finish. 10th place at the second time check. 10th. Just 38 seconds down. Again, back up to that 75. Save it for the climb. 6K to go. 6K to go. He's in a strong position. He's got a 79 mountain. He's the strongest climber. He's not our strongest time trialist, but he's in a good position there overall while riding less hard, while getting a poor draw. Just, can we salvage? Can we salvage? Ahead of us is Stalker. Stalker was a minute 12 down, but he's got an 80 for a mountain. 8:58 down. He's not going to gain a minute and a half on Arab. Arab onto the climb and speeding it up. We're going to push a 79. Can we? We'll do it for a little bit. Gregoire is the one behind us. Only 56 seconds. We're not gaining 3 minutes on him. But there was somebody else. Somebody else in between. 800 meters. Arab's still going strong. We can push even harder. We did save enough for him. 500 meters. Starting to go into attack mode a little bit more, but again, you can only attack so hard as that yellow bar is gone. Speeding up, speeding up, speeding up. 99. Yes! 12th place. Minute 6. He even went ahead of Benuna, who had a +5. Benuna not as strong, but with a +5, it made a huge difference. Yes, Gregoire was 6th. So we're not gaining on him necessarily, or certainly not gaining the 3.5 minutes we need to overtake him. But he's overtaken somebody else. He was 10th, 45 seconds. He ends up 20 seconds ahead of Arab. But it's Pellizzari we're chasing. Pellizzari's 3.5 minutes down. 4:30. We got him. We got him. We've moved up to 7th. What about Vlasov? He was a minute and a half down, but we're not gaining that kind of time. Yeah, minute 34 is all we end up gaining there. Ayuso, he was 4th, 6th, and his 3rd overall. He will take the lead. He will take the lead. So our top 3 guys come in. Petrovic comes in behind him, 3 minutes down, but 4 down overall does not get us into that territory. Vingegaard takes it. Rodriguez, the only one left, and he's certainly climbing, but he is well behind. So Vingegaard's going to win the stage. Ayuso 2nd. So 2 guys in the top 3 are doing extremely well. Rodriguez only had about a 4-second advantage. Is he going to drop to 3rd overall on this time trial? I'm thinking he probably is, and he takes 20th. So Vingegaard for the stage win ahead of Ayuso. Martinez ended up being 5th, and I thought we cracked the top 10. Did we not? We just got, oh no, that's right, we were 13th. We got bumped down to, I believe, 14th on the stage. And yes, Vingegaard moves into the overall lead by a minute over Ayuso. Rodriguez drops to 3rd, minute 48 down. All 3 still kind of close together, but there's, what, 1 mountain stage left? Petrovic, Vlasov, Gregoire. Arab is 7th. So we do move up 1 spot. Stalker, Pellizzari, we're over a minute and a half ahead of Pellizzari. Looking pretty good to secure that 7th place at the end of this race. Not bad for a very little support level of race. Not bad for a 0, which is really a -3 draw on the day. So a really poor day for Arab, and yet he got a top 15. Briefly looking at the profile of what's left of this race. Stage 17, that's considered a bungee stage, and we are going to take the risk of the quick sim. We've got a minute and 40 gap. I think we should be pretty safe. You never know what's going to happen with that one. But then we've got a sprint, another sprint. At the end is a sprint, but in between stage 20. Stage 20 is going to be the tricky one. The last one will be there in a moment, but let's see what happens on stage 17 first. De Villiers takes 12th on the stage. Vingegaard wins ahead of Ayuso. Martinez, great job from them. No sign of one very, very key guy. He comes in 58. We lost a freaking minute. Still 7th. Gap's grown. Okay, I'll take it then. I will take it. Stalker lost a ton of time today. He is now 14.5 minutes down overall. Jay Vine moves up a couple spots, but 13:48 down. So we're 3.5 minutes ahead of any chasers. We also have a significant gap ahead of us, so we're just going to try to get through that next stage in one piece. There's no reason to take any huge risks because the gains aren't in sight, and all we can do is absolutely destroy ourselves and potentially lose a ton of time or gain, a minute for what, right? It'd be nice if Vlasov or Gregoire blow up. Then we can think about doing something a little more aggressive on that stage. So we'll keep an eye on Vlasov and Gregoire. But otherwise, I think we're just going to kind of cruise home to 7th place and lose as little time as possible on that last stage. If we're in a position late, obviously we want to go for a stage win. That's all we have left to play for. Janssen drops a spot. He drops to 18th after Gloak moves 6 seconds ahead of him. So Janssen is 18th overall. Clote is 24th. He lost 2 spots today. So great work from our team to absolutely suck it up on the quick sim. With 2 of the last 3 stages being sprint stages, the points jersey is going to be ripped away from GC guys, and Arnaud Delay has a significant advantage over the other sprinters. So he's a pretty natural one for that, and he's already just won stage number 18. There's really only 4 elite sprinters in this field. It's not the deepest field. Machete, the 4th. Not really. He's on the edge, and there's a reason why he missed the podium here. But Milan's an 80 sprinter with 79 acceleration. Moral's an 81 with 79, but Delay an 82 with that 76 flat. And a strong team, that's definitely one of the strongest teams, has been a winner of many stages in this race, including 19. We got that last one to worry about, but we got to worry about stage 20 first. We're going to take it fairly quick through this earlier part of the stage. We got through the first climb with just 3 riders getting dropped by the peloton, but it was not easy the way it was set up. The tempo was definitely not as light as you would expect for that early in the race. Breakaway probably had a few too many riders. There were 30 that were away. Now it's 17 and 2 in between. They've opened up a healthy gap, but with half as many, or roughly half as many riders as there were before, it definitely helped ease the pace a little bit within the peloton, but kind of waited until the descent to lift that pace. But anyway, Matoni with a -3, he's not having a day. He's already on the verge of getting dropped. He'll get a little recovery here. We've got 87 kilometers left to go. Benuna on the -5 is actually hanging in there better than Matoni is. He's just, man, he is so done in this race. And yes, Matoni is going to head back, but he's protecting Janssen, so no big loss there. Janssen is the one that's 18th overall, so I kind of would like to... did I tell him to get water? That's not what I meant to tell him. And these guys are at the back. And they have to push quite that hard. This is about to ease off the gradient here for a little bit. We do need to get water one more time, and there's a lot of undulation between here and the finish. Arab's got a +5 though. He had a +6 expected. I've only seen that a couple times, but he is feeling it right now. He is so stoked after his recent performance and heading into this final decisive stage. So he was so up for today, between the preparation, the fitness peak, the objective, it all added to him being crazy happy. And we've had good days for him where there was no support, and then we've had days where he wasn't so good and the support looked better. Today's a fairly good combination. I mean, we got 2 guys with really bad draws. Benny's got a 0, Hanoak's only got a +1. It's certainly not perfect, but for stage 20, oh, it's good. It's good. We're at 108 riders, and I think right now is probably one of the best times to try to get water. Benuda's a bit tired, and he might not even succeed at getting water if we send him. Either drift back and get the water, or get the water and go. Like, don't go a quarter bike length at a time. Like, he's barely going slower than anybody else, and he's running himself out of room to finish this task. I hate how Sometimes the water task is just bang, bang, done. Others, they behave entirely unlike you would expect them to. 60k to go, a lot of uphill. We may not be done with water just yet, but it'll be a much smaller group by the time we get around to it. The breakaway, which is now down to 16 of those originals. Still 649 ahead, but we've been holding them steady for a while. Jumbo Visma not pushing too hard through this area. Yeah, it's made it a little easier outside of Matoni being gone. You know, we still got everybody here. Janssen, I wanted to make sure he was protected. Who's the one we're going to leave alone? Hanoke, probably? Yeah. I do care about the positions, remember. Arab, pretty secure in his 7th position now. Way too much of a gap either side of him to really be threatened. And the peloton just shrunk to 70. It's coming down in size. Okay, Benny and Banuna, the only ones that are really feeling it right now. Let's hope they make it through this climb and that it's on the Cat 2 where we lose them. 8 minutes to the front group, so they've actually been pushing harder than we have. I'm assuming the one out the back is the one who we just caught, and he went pretty much straight out the back. But is the gap holding? Not really. They've pulled away just a little bit more. We do get everybody over that climb, Banuna and Benny, not by much. So we are going to gel up for them. They are going to get the smallest amount of recovery starting here in just a moment. Heart rate's not too high, but it's not going to be much. And by the time the gel kicks in, it should be just about the base of the climb. And we're going to have to reassess what's going on protection-wise because we're about to lose 2 riders. Benny, he's going to be the first one. Okay, he's dropping. And here goes Banuna. And let's reassess what we got. 5 riders left. Hanoke, hanging back there a little bit. At this point, I'm less worried about people's overall, or sorry, less worried about how they're doing today and more worried about their overall position. Clote is earning us points in 24th. I think it's all the way down to about 30th overall. Earns some points. So Clote, he's earning points. Janssen's earning points. Hanoke, well, time for him to go, I guess. Arab holding just fine on a 79, and this is the penultimate climb. There's a little bit of a gap in between here and that finishing climb, but it's not much of a period of recovery. There will be some. I mean, there is at least a little bit of a descent. Arab's drifted a little. We're okay, though. Down to 52 riders. 1K. Okay, speeding up. I think we can suffer through this. Down to 48. Front group's decimated. It's down to something. There was 16 left. And there's at minimum 6 of them out. So at most there's 10 left up there. Gives us a little bit. But like I said, very minimal recovery through there. And Arab's looking a little tired before we head into that final climb. That was to be expected, and others shouldn't have required it. It's a 12K climb, 7%. It's not that bad as far as climbs go, and it's definitely not going to lead to 3-minute gaps one way or the other for Arab. But we will gel for Hanoke now. We will gel for Clote now. Clote will replace De Villiers here shortly. Okay, got a team. The split SE coming forward. De Villiers made it through that, but Clote will take over almost right away. Okay, De Villiers is going to be heading out, and I'm sure there's going to be quite a few guys. Yeah, there are. Bartha, Rue. Before we get into the steeper section, which is those trees up ahead, I'd say. We are going to take a pause and check on 2 things. All right, Gregoire is the first guy I wanted to check on. Remember, we are like 3 minutes behind him, and he looks just fine. He looks strong. Vlasov's the other one we wanted to check on. Gregoire is trying to attack. This could be a good thing. Down to 30. Hanouk's been dropped. Jansen's been dropped. Let's get them both put on auto. Not great for the 18th place rider to already be dropped, but we're looking at two guys off the front, Vingegaard and Rodriguez, first and third going. Ortega up the road. This is all going to be breakaway guys, and there's 6 left at the front. Still 5:53 ahead. They've got a very good chance to win the stage, but not a guarantee. Arab, 6K to go. It's a lot of climbing. With a group that's getting decimated very fast. We will gel very soon, though. I said the main thing here is to not put yourself in a position to lose 3 minutes. Okay, gel now. Inside 5K. Down to 18 chasing. And there's Vingegaard coming backwards. Rodriguez has put the pressure on him, and he has cracked. So we've caught him. Ayuso now. There's Gregoire looking strong. Vlasov is not seen. Vlasov's been dropped. Vlasov has been dropped. He's already a minute down. He's already more than a minute behind. But Arab needs to ease off and just kind of follow. Vingegaard's been dropped too. He didn't just get dropped, he got dropped. Could he be losing the overall today? There goes Wells out the back. But here goes Arab. We've tried to conserve as much as we could energy-wise, but he's about to run out. One way or another, he's in trouble. He's with Van Eetvelt and Petrovic. 11th overall. 4th overall for Petrovic. Pellizzari, though, and Vine are ahead of us, but we're not in a position to lose 3 minutes to them. The breakaway has one. It's Bardet, Roner, Gonzalez, Fortunato. The other two, Moss, 22nd overall. Here comes Ulrich, Gall, Rodriguez, Martinez. None of these guys are close enough to, I don't know, it's already been 2 minutes. It's going pretty dang fast. There's Gregoire. Here is Arab. He's going to lose some time to them, but I don't think it's going to be 3 minutes, but you never know. You never know. Here we go, 200 meters, sprint. Remember, we've got remnants from the break. About 7 guys ahead, which means we're about 11th on the stage. But we're ahead of key guys. I mean, here's the race leader, Vingegaard. Well behind us, Gegenhardt. Vlasov is well behind us. We're still only, he's coming in at 6.5. I don't think we gained 3 minutes on him. We certainly didn't lose 3 minutes to the guys ahead of us. Assuming our position is unchanged, but there are some big gaps today. Guys behind us finishing ahead, guys ahead of us finishing behind. We've definitely had a wrench thrown in the spokes, but I don't think it's big enough gaps. We'll see. All right, well, let's break this thing down. First off, the breakaway riders had no impact on anything. So the first contenders, I believe, I don't think any of these guys were in any sort of meaningful position. Danny Martinez, Stalker, that's the first one's in, coming in at 2:23. And that means really we're looking at 10th on down. So for that, Arab finished 9th. Overall, that was, you know, a decent finish. And he was both ahead and behind the guys around him. But 3:48 down and really a minute and a half. We had a 3-minute cushion. Should be fine to other contenders. Now behind us, 3 minutes begins. It's pretty damn close. Vlasov almost lost 3 minutes. I think he's going to be ahead of us, but only just. But Vingegaard, 5 down. He lost 2.5 minutes to others. He could be down to the last step on the podium potentially. I think he had a 4-minute cushion to off the podium, but he barely had a minute to on the podium. Rodriguez at 2:30. I mean, that's 2.5 minutes right there. That is 2.5 minutes right there. Ayuso, 3.5. So there was a minute between them, and that's a minute and a half. So yes, I think that's what happened. I think we've seen our podium flip, but I think Arab's in the same spot. Am I right? Ayuso into the lead. Rodriguez is 12 seconds down. Holy cow, and Vingegaard has dropped. So they both move up a spot. He drops to last, 30 seconds behind. Then 4 minutes to Petrovic. Gregoire moves up a spot. Vlasov does drop down. 5 seconds! 5! Oh, not much of a difference between 6th and 7th. Right? It's not a top 5. And a huge gap behind us. So Stalker moves up a bit from 10th to 8th, but nothing big with that. Vine drops a spot, Belisari drops a spot, Van Evel stays 11th, Martinez moves up to 12th, 23 minutes behind. Janssen drops a spot to 19th. Ronar moving up, he was in the breakaway. Clote drops to 26th, so he just slips out of the top 25 as Fortunato was in the breakaway. Bardet was in the breakaway. And they move up a significant number of spots. There are guys that lost a lot more ground than Clote did there, like Lombard losing 8 spots, but Clote ultimately drops down thanks to breakaway guys. But we've got our 7th, 5 seconds away from 6th. There's no way to really gain that in the last stage. 6 seconds for an intermediate sprint point, but it's not like anybody's going to let him get in the breakaway on that and earn that. And if I try to cheese our way to getting that for him, I just don't see it going well. And maybe he could, but we will accept that we have 7th position and came ever so close. Did not see that coming, did not see a 3-minute changeover like that. If it was Gregoire, it would have been enough time. The exact same time, because Gregoire was behind Vlasov, so he had to drop 2 spots, not just 1, so he had a few additional seconds, and that made all the difference. They were pretty close to each other. I don't remember exactly how close. I would imagine it was more than 5 seconds. Points: Delay, Mountain, Gregoire. He was in that classification for a long time, earned a lot of points, and then found himself in the top 5, and so he rode GC the rest of the way. Petrovic wins the under 25s. Arab is 2nd. Janssen is 7th. Clote is 10th. As a team, 4th. 28 minutes down. We lost the most time on those punchy stages that we quick simmed. Certainly not all the time. We had at least one really bad mountain stage where race day conditions were not there and we got beat up bad, including Arab. Lost quite a bit of time. But other than that, the bulk of the other time that we lost compared to others really came on those quick sim stages. We lost probably 10 plus minutes on those 3 hill stages that we quick simmed, probably more than 10 minutes. Delay caps off his fantastic performance with yet another stage win. Confirmation of positions. Clote moved back into the top 25. Looks like a couple guys, few withdrawals there. 155 ended up finishing the race. We have just maintained a top 5 in the team rankings following La Vuelta at a 7th place finish. Jumbo-Visma, the ones making the big jump. La Grupetto was just behind us. They didn't do as much in the race, but they still earned a little bit more in points compared to us. Jumbo-Visma, of course, makes their huge jump while only getting 3rd place as Vingegaard tanked right at the end. But 5th place is set to be our highest finish. However, it's not a lock, as Telephone also closed that gap on us, and they are exactly 100 points behind. Evenepoel, number 1 in the rankings. Pogacar, number 2. Almeida. Petrovic jumps to number 4. Vingegaard jumps 8 spots to number 5. Rodriguez loses. That's a confusing one. Drops to 6th. Ayuso jumps to 7th. Lectasoon down a spot. Philipsen down a few spots. And Arab has climbed into the top 10. That has got to be at 3,500 points. That is got to be guaranteed type territory for a training point for Morocco. Got to be. Absolutely huge. He even has single-handedly, well, almost. He's got all but 1,000 points for Morocco. He's brought Morocco within a few points of the U.S. Huge group. Lots of quality riders, but not the most world-class of riders. A lot of good riders. And you've got a two-man group in Morocco. Karim has 275 and Mansour has 28. I mean, we have all four guys. We have 100% of the Moroccan points. Erche is 18th, and right in between is South Africa. So our three prime nations are back to back to back, with Rwanda just down there in 21st. This is already more than 1,000 points higher than anything we've had in any previous season. We've got a couple races left to go and a few more to simulate before we get to the end of the season, and of course still trying to play it out and see what happens with our team down the stretch, as we are right below the bubble, right off the bubble, with 2 weeks left to go in the season. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.